Hey everyone, this is Walter, and I'm back here to bring you some more stories from Reddit. You probably know the drill by now. We'll be covering stories about relationships, either romantic or not, from subreddits like Reddit Relationships and Am I the Asshole, which probably makes up most of these videos at this point. Well, let's just get started with relationship disasters from Reddit. Here's a new one. Am I the asshole for demanding my fiancé pay me back for selling my train collection? I, 28 female, lived with my aunt and uncle as my parents could not raise me. My uncle started collecting trains as a hobby when he was working as an engineer. I took a huge interest in them as a child and teenager. My uncle gave me his entire train collection when he became sick. When I turned 19, I moved out and found a nice apartment near my college. I brought the collection with me. Some of my friends thought it was cool, others find it weird. I met my boyfriend in college and he moved in with me after we graduated. We got engaged last year and are currently struggling with debt, student loans, and the wedding. My fiancé asked if we could have an expert come into the apartment and price the train collection. I was against the idea and told him that I would not sell the collection as it was a large memory of my uncle. My best friend got engaged this past weekend and a few of us went to celebrate at her parents' lake house. I was gone for 2 nights and when I returned the train collection was completely gone. My fiancé came running over saying that a collector came and gave him a decent price for the set. I started crying and yelling at him that he destroyed my trust and told him to leave the apartment. He left without protest and has been staying with his parents. I told him that he had to pay me back all the money. I did threaten to sue him as well. His parents are trying to argue that he was only doing what was best for the both of us. Am I the asshole for demanding my fiancé pay me back for selling my train collection? Man, what kind of a question is that? He took your stuff and sold it after you specifically told him not to. I don't think demanding compensation could make you an asshole. And this isn't really the point, but who knows if he got a decent price? He doesn't sound like an expert. Oh wait, the top comment says it better than me. Not the asshole. Your fiancé stole and sold the train collection without your consent. Please go back to that collector and explain the situation. File a police report and sue your fiancé for grand theft. And OP, please break up with him because he completely betrayed your trust. You cannot get married to someone who has no respect for you. What an awful man. I wouldn't let a partner get away with selling my shit while I was gone, I'll just say that. Okay, I put an exclamation point next to this one, so I guess I better cover it. It's also from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for not forgiving my husband, 26 male, for a mistake and not trusting him with our child? I, 24 female, gave birth to my daughter 6 months ago, and it should have been the happiest moment in my life. When my daughter was born, her skin was very dark and looked like she could have 2 biological parents who were of African descent. My husband Jim, 26 male, fake name, was furious and accused me of cheating and left right then and there. He told everyone on both sides of the family what happened, made posts on social media, and wanted a divorce. His family and a lot of our friends all called to say how upset they were at me and called me really nasty names. My mother was by my side the entire time and I kept professing my innocence. Jim refused to pick me up from the hospital, threw my stuff out on the lawn, and changed the locks so I had to stay with my parents. When my sister called to ask for the baby stuff, Jim texted me pictures of the bare nursery room and said he got rid of everything. He even destroyed my art studio. I like to paint and the art I made and told me my work would be too awful to sell. I was distraught and tried to focus on my baby. I like how it says he told everyone what happened. No, he didn't. I can only imagine what those posts said. Framing this as a mistake is extremely generous. Weeks went by and Jim refused to speak to me directly and has never once asked about our child. Eventually he agreed to do a paternity and he was 100% the father. No one could believe the results and it was done again. Jim's the dad. Around that same time, one of Jim's cousins did the ancestry thing and there was around 30% of African ancestry in his family. This combined with the test Jim's paternal great-grandmother admitted to having an affair around the time Jim's grandfather was born and was because he could pass, she just assumed her husband was the father. Oh hey, I just noticed it's Martin Luther King Day. I actually picked this story before I noticed, but we can just run with it. This husband is already really detestable, and there's a lot more of this. Since then, Jim has been reaching out, and everyone has come to apologize, and while it did feel good to feel vindicated, the damage has been done. I can't unhear or unsee all the horrible things that was said and done. Not just to me, but to my child as well. Jim made some very racist remarks. Things that I thought he'd never say, and he did it so easily. Regardless of what our daughter looks like, I don't want her to be around that. What else will Jim and his family say or do the next time they get mad? How are they going to treat our daughter when she does something that upsets them? Jim has been begging for forgiveness. I said I needed time. He asked to see the baby and I let him, but I'm too afraid to physically hand her to him. He's repairing the nursery and keeps asking me what I would like, and I cry every time, saying we already had what I liked, and some of the items that we had can't be replaced. He asked me if I still loved him, and I admitted that he showed me his worst self, and I don't know if I could live with that image. I didn't mean to be hurtful, but it's how I feel. My sister suggested couples therapy, but I don't feel like I should have to work to fix something that I didn't break. I've never cheated, and I've been 100% innocent in all of this the whole time. Am I the asshole for not wanting to give Jim a second chance? Good lord, if he's willing to destroy everything he can to hurt you for any reason, then you don't want to marry him in the first place. Staying with this guy would be completely insane. That being said, I don't know if you can keep his child from him legally. Let's read the updates. Update 1. I stepped away for a few hours and couldn't believe what I came back to. I am truly amazed by all the wonderful comments of support as well as the private messages. I also understand why some people may think this is fake, and all I can say is that you are free to believe what you want in this. I also see some questions, and I think I should clarify a few things just in case your judgment may change. All of this initially happened at the near February, and I was already settled at my parents' house before the pandemic hit. One of the reasons Jim wouldn't pick me up from the hospital is because I wouldn't admit to cheating or give him any details, because there weren't any, which just made him angrier. Based on the pictures Jim sent, he didn't take a sledgehammer to the crib or anything, he just took stuff down to either return it for the money or gave it away. While deeply hurtful, I wouldn't call it violent, but maybe it is. Online, he announced that I pushed out a dark-skinned baby and he was going to divorce me. His family started with the racial comments, and eventually he started doing it too, but only through my family. He refused to speak to me directly. Once the truth came out about everything, he and his family posts were all taken down, but I and a few friends still had the screenshots. Jim never wrote down any of his racial remarks. While he didn't say any of the racist words, he did make comments about our daughter being a welfare princess and how I was going to be just another baby mama. Just to clarify, Jim is white, and I am at least half white. One of my parents is adopted, and with everything that's happened, they decided to do the ancestry thing too, and we should be getting the results any day now. It must really shake up this racist family finding out they all have African ancestors. Reddit no doubt told her to sever. A lot of people don't even realize how bad their situation is until they write it out. But there's actually another update. Let's read it. Update 2, spelling errors. Update 3, mod denied separate posts, so it's here as an edit. Thank you for all your words of encouragement a couple months back, both in posts and the DMs. A lot of things have happened since my initial post, and I just needed time to process it and be in a place where I can write about on social media. So here it goes. First, my parent who is adopted did the Ancestry 23 thing, and it turns out that Jim wasn't the only one who had African ancestry. My parent had at least 45%, which means I have at least 20%. I am legally separated from my husband with primary custody, and I'm living with my parents until further notice. He still keeps apologizing and wants me to come back to the house. He even offered to leave so I could stay with our daughter, but I don't want to and really like having the support of my parents. My dad is retired, so he does a lot of the babysitting while my mother and I work remotely. I do go to the house every so often so Jim can see his daughter, and for couples counseling via telecom. In one of the sessions, Jim confessed something really hurtful, and some of you guessed right, he cheated. It was while we were dating before he proposed, and his treatment towards me was a projection. It was with an ex-girlfriend who had cheated on him, and he hooked up with her as an ego boost. He started to feel guilty but was too scared that I would walk away to ever confess. Jim also admitted that he got scared when I got pregnant. Our baby wasn't planned, was very anxious about being a father, but just pretended to be excited because he didn't want to look like an asshole. My husband was so willing to believe that our daughter wasn't his because he thought he had an out. Now that he knows our child is his and has spent time with her, Jim regrets everything and just wants his family back and is willing to spend the rest of his life making it up to us. This was all deeply hurtful, and I've cried about it more than once. Jim has been lying to me, and my ability to trust him hasn't improved at all. When the holidays came around, Jim's parents asked about seeing their grandchild, and I didn't want to. They told me that it was selfish of me to keep her away, and I reminded them of their past. They said that they've already apologized and tried to minimize the situation. They said that I can't be angry forever and that I need to learn to forgive them. I'm so ashamed of ever loving and marrying into this family and wonder why I didn't see this before. I've decided to contact a lawyer and will be filing for divorce after my daughter's first birthday. I guess this is about as well as it could have gone. Obviously this girl's stuck with him as a father, and he seems to want to be a father now that he knows the baby's his. But there's definitely no way to salvage the marriage. It never fails to amaze me seeing something like this. These people are together for so long and she has no idea how it's about to fall apart. I have another story I've been sitting on where the husband suddenly confesses to being a Nazi out of nowhere. I have more time. Let's read something else. Am I the asshole again? Am I the asshole for embarrassing my friend at a fast casual restaurant? Hello, Reddit. Yesterday, I, 34 male, was invited out for lunch by a friend, 32 female, at a fast casual joint. Counter service where they put whatever you want in a bowl. My wife and I just had a baby, so we've been home with a newborn and not socializing or eating well for the last month. Luckily, my mom agreed to come by and help my wife so I could go to lunch. Admittedly, I was incredibly excited for this lunch. Possibly more excited for the food itself than meeting my friend. According to my friend, this was all too apparent when I ordered. When I got to the counter, everything looked so amazing and delicious. I couldn't help myself. I'm sure I ordered with a lot more excitement in my tone of voice than I'd imagine any average customer. I did show plenty of gratitude for the staff for making the bowl for me as well. I ordered extra meat, then double extra meat, and then every single topping they had. When it came to the end, the employee wasn't able to close the bowl, so that turned into an on-the-spot logistical conundrum for the team. I paid for the bowl, ended up close to $20, and threw a few bucks into their tip jar as well. Anyway, so as we were eating lunch, my friend seemed irritated. I asked what was up, and she admitted that I was being too over the top when I was ordering, and she felt embarrassed to be with me. She said it was also embarrassing to her when they weren't able to close my bowl. I did apologize, but I'm not actually sure I did anything wrong. Reddit, what do you all think? Am I the asshole? Doesn't sound like he's being an asshole to me. He sounds like a fun guy. Maybe if the friend had an anxiety disorder or something, but it doesn't sound like it. Let's read a comment from someone who knows better than I do, which is probably anyone. Not the asshole. I think your friend is a bit too concerned with appearances. I've worked in the service industry all my life, and I love customers that are excited to be alive. Enjoy your meal. Well, there we go. I know that story is a very lighthearted disconnect up to the other ones, but that's just how we do things here. Anyway, it's about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have an opinion on the stories or the content in general, please let me hear it in the comments. Engagement actually helps your channel on this site. If you're new here and want more of the same, consider subscribing. I'm also going to say, if you want Lucas memes, you should follow me on Twitter at WalterFate1. It's most of what I do there when I'm bored. I also sometimes post things that I thought about using in my videos and decided not to, so feel free to come check it out. I will be uploading again very shortly here, so don't worry. Have a great day, everyone, and don't remind your family members about the times they were racist. It's very painful to remember that. And happy Martin Luther King Day.